This week, Serena Williams' name slipped back onto the ITIA's registered testing list, the pool of players who agree to random drug tests so they can compete again. 44 years old, last match in 2022. A mother, an investor, a global icon who said she was evolving away from tennis, not retiring. Within hours, the internet caught fire. Is the Queen coming back? Is she targeting 2026? Did she do it for doubles with Venus? Articles, hot takes, speculative thumbnails? All because one name reappeared on a list. Then she pushed back and said she isn't planning a comeback. Yet the story wouldn't die, because the story was never really about paperwork or testing pools. It was about us. Rafael Nadal has already had his farewell. Davis Cup 2024, a final match, tributes from Federer, Serena, and almost every player who ever tried to solve the puzzle of his forehand. He was supposed to fade into the quiet part of the draw, where the veterans sit and clap for the next generation. Instead, months later, he's talking about future exhibitions, saying he'll prepare to play again, not for trophies, but for the people who still want to see him fight the ball and the clay one more time. Roger Federer retired in 2022 at Laver Cup, carried on the shoulders of rivals who had become brothers. Now, he's openly floating the idea of a global exhibition tour with Nadal, maybe in 2026, maybe with the profits going to good causes. One last waltz between two artists who spent 20 years tearing each other apart for our joy. They are retired. Yet their shadows still stretch across every hard court, grass blade, and clay grain in the sport. So why can't tennis let go of its legends? Part of it is simple. The numbers are insane. 23 majors for Serena, 20 for Federer, 22 for Nadal. Weeks at world number one stacked like bricks. Olympic golds, Davis Cups, Fed Cups, mixed doubles, rivalries that became stitched into people's memories the way childhood songs are. Trophies are only the scoreboard. What people really miss is the feeling. Serena wasn't just winning matches. She was bending the idea of what was possible for a woman, a black woman, a mother, a human body under pressure. Every comeback from injury, every three-set thriller, every roar was a reminder that power can come wrapped in vulnerability. Even now, when she posts about body image, health, or life after tennis, the world leans in. Nadal wasn't just grinding from 5 meters behind the baseline. He was a living sermon on resilience. Wrapped knees, taped abs, sunken eyes, and still he'd sprint for one more ball like his life was tucked into its seams. Fans know he shouldn't have kept going as long as he did, which is exactly why they can't stop thinking about him now that he's gone. Federer wasn't just slicing backhands and feathering drop shots. He was the illusion of effortlessness in a sport built on pain. When he floated across grass, people felt like the world, for a moment, made sense and had rhythm. These three didn't just win. They rewired the emotional language of tennis. The news cycle keeps dragging them back because the present is still learning how to be itself. The new champions are strong, brilliant, fierce. But they are still building their myths. They have big titles but not yet big legends, big games but not yet big eras attached to their names. In that gap, the media reaches for old gods. A quiet administrative change, Serena re-entering a testing pool, becomes breaking news across agencies. A casual comment about exhibitions, Federer saying he'd love to play Nadal again someday, becomes a headline around the world. It's not just nostalgia, it's fear. Fear that tennis without them will feel smaller. Fear that we've already lived through the greatest stories the sport will ever tell. Fear that future finals might be technically perfect, but emotionally thinner. So each tiny sign, a Serena practice clip with her daughters, a Nadal Academy session posted online, Federer casually hitting at Wimbledon, is treated like proof that the magic isn't actually over, just on pause. But here's the twist. Tennis can't let go of its legends because its legends never really let go of tennis. Serena is still on court with her kids, passing on the sound of the ball leaving the strings. Nadal is still building his academy, teaching future players how to suffer with dignity and joy. Federer is still engineering events like Laver Cup, trying to shape the sport from the director's box instead of the baseline. They're not ghosts, they're roots. Every new champion walks onto a stadium built, in part, from their echoes. Every next-gen player grew up replaying their highlights on YouTube, copying their rituals, copying their forehands in cracked public courts. So when search bars spike for Serena after a testing pool update, or for Nadal and Federer after an exhibition rumor, it's not just curiosity, it's gratitude. It's a global fan base whispering, "Tell me they're still out there somewhere. Tell me the story isn't finished." Imagine this: empty stadiums at dusk, courts washed in blue and gold, slow replay of Serena's fist pump, Nadal's sprint, Federer's slice. Then cut to now. Serena in trainers with her daughters. Nadal laughing with a junior at his academy. Federer in a suit at the Laver Cup, smiling from the stands. Maybe tennis doesn't need to let go of its legends. Maybe it just needs to learn a new way to hold them. Not as ghosts haunting the future, but as constellations above it, guiding, shimmering, reminding every new player who walks onto a court. You are stepping into a story they started, and you will leave your own traces in the lines they drew. They are not ghosts, they are roots. Remember to subscribe for more.